Hello students, welcome to St. Joseph's Academy's online class. I am your English teacher and in today's class we are going to have revision of chapter 9 of your English Mulberry book. The title of the chapter is The Whispering Palms. Now I am going to give you a brief summary of the chapter. In this you will learn what the chapter is about. This chapter is a play written by Deepa Gangwani and Tina Sukanek. Students, play is a kind of drama. The persons who plays a role in the play are known as characters. The main characters of this play are Mori, her father and her mother. This play is a delightful story of a little girl Mori who wants her family to live in harmony with nature. She finds out a way to live in her surroundings without destroying the resources. Mori lived with her parents in a coconut grove. Grove means group of trees next to a small blue lake. Her father is a fisherman and earns money by selling fish in the market. Mori goes to the lake every day with her parents. She carries a big basket on her head to collect fish that her father catches. Her father carries a fishing net and her mother carries clothes which she washes on a stone near the lake. Mori is kind to animals. She always hurries to rescue the turtles that got stuck in the net. One day, when her father catches a lot of fish, she said, "If we catch so many fish, one day there won't be any left." Her mother laughed at her idea and sent her off to school. At noon, after washing clothes, Mori's mother lay down under the palm trees and took a short nap. She had a strange dream. She dreamt that the winds in the palm leaves whispered into her ears that the waters and the land have always taken care of your family, but now you have to take care of them in return. She awoke with tears in her eyes and told about the dream to Mori's father. They were worried because they don't know how to bring up Mori properly without selling enough fish. Next day, they decided to carry a small basket to the lake and catch only as much fish as would come in that. When Mori returned from school, she was happy to know that from then onwards, her parents will be catching less fish and will earn money by selling soap and oil which they have prepared from the fallen coconuts only. They decided to use only those coconuts for this purpose which nature gave them. They cautioned Mori not to pluck any coconut from the tree. They started taking care of the nature by using only those things that nature gave them. When Mori grew up, she learned to carve tiny turtles from the coconut shells and she always wore one around her neck. Students, now we will have revision of some of the exercises of this chapter. We will start with the word meanings. First word, confused. Confused means not able to think clearly. So in the story, when Mori's father gave a small basket to Mori to carry to the lake next day when her mother had a strange dream, she was confused. She was not able to think clearly. Second word, pluck. Pluck means pull something out from where it is growing. Like in the story, when Mori climbed up the tree to pluck the coconuts, her father cautioned her. Third, fiber. Fiber means a material made from the husk or covering of the coconut shell. Now, when Mori's parents started making brooms, then Mori and her parents, they started selling them in the market. They prepared brooms from the palm leaves and wove mats from the coconut fiber. So fiber is a material made from the husk. Husk means the cover of the coconut shell. Fourth, carve. Carve means cut something to make shapes. Like in the story, when Mori grew older, she learned to carve tiny turtles out of coconut shells, and she always wore one around her neck. Next exercise, question number 1. Unscramble these words to get the names of other water bodies. Now few words are given. They are the names of some water bodies. You have to unscramble those words to get the correct names. First one is EAS. If you unscramble these words, these letters, you will get a proper word, that is sea. SEAC. Second word is DONP. If you unscramble the letter, you will get a new word, that is the POND, pond. Third, PULEDD. If you unscramble the letters, you will get a new word, that is PUDDLE, puddle. Now read these sentences. Father caught a lot of fish today. And second, tomorrow we will sell it at the market. In first sentence, the word today, and in second sentence, the word tomorrow. What are these? These tell us more about the verbs. What are the verbs? In sentence 1, the verb is caught. And in second sentence, the verb is sell. So these words today and tomorrow, they are telling us more about the verbs caught and sell. Like in first sentence, when did father catch a lot of fish? The answer is today. In second sentence, when will we sell it? The answer is tomorrow. So these words today and tomorrow, they are adverbs. What are adverbs? Adverb is a word which adds something to the meaning of a verb. Adverbs tell us something more about verbs. Then we have learnt about kinds of adverbs in our grammar book. We learnt that there are 4 kinds of adverbs: adverbs of manner, adverbs of time, adverbs of place, and adverbs of frequency. Here, today and tomorrow, these are adverbs of time. Adverbs that tell us when an action happens are called adverbs of time. They answer the question when. Like in these 2 sentences, the adverbs today and tomorrow, they are answering the question that when the action is about to happen. These are adverbs of time. Next exercise, complete the conversation by filling in the blanks with words from the box. Now few words are given in the box. Let us read those words. Today, tomorrow, yesterday, early, late, soon, now. What are all these? All these are adverbs of time. Now you have to use an appropriate adverb of time to complete the conversation given below. First one, grandfather, will you take us to the library today? I'm busy dash, but I will take you dash. Now what will come in first blank? I am busy. The answer is today. I'm busy today, but I will take you tomorrow. The correct adverb of time is tomorrow. I'm busy today, but I will take you tomorrow. Next sentence. What a lovely picture. When did you paint it? I painted it dash grandmother. Now which adverb of time will come here? The answer is yesterday. I painted it yesterday grandmother. Third, will you come home dash grandmother? No, I will come home dash. The answers are, will you come home early grandmother? No, I will come home late. L-A-T-E, late. Next, let us read a story dash. Oh yes, do begin grandfather. I love stories. Now which adverb of time will come in this blank? The answer is now. Let us read a story now. Next, goodbye, see you dash. Thank you grandmother. Thank you grandfather. The answer is soon. Goodbye, see you soon. Now read these sentences. First, are we going to the library? And second sentence, we are going to the library. Now if you notice carefully, the first one is a question and second sentence is an answer. We have studied that there are four kinds of sentences. One, assertive sentence. Second, interrogative sentence. Third, imperative sentence. And fourth, exclamatory sentence. An assertive sentence expresses a statement to tell a fact and it always ends with a full stop. An interrogative sentence asks about something or someone and it always ends with a question mark. An imperative sentence expresses an order or a request and it also ends with a full stop. And last is exclamatory sentence. They express a strong feeling and they always ends with an exclamation mark. Now this sentence one, are we going to the library? Which kind of sentence it is? It is interrogative sentence because it is asking a question. So we have placed a question mark at the end of this sentence. We use question marks when we ask questions. Now second sentence, we are going to the library. What kind of sentence is this? This is an assertive sentence. So it is stating a fact only. It is a statement to tell a fact. So it is ending with a full stop. We use full stops at the end of sentences that tell us something. Next is question number 3. Put the correct end mark for each sentence. Few sentences are given. You have to decide which mark will come at the end of these sentences. First, where is my book? Now, which kind of sentence it is? It is an interrogative sentence as it is asking a question. So, which mark will come here? A question mark will come here. Next, my book is on the shelf. This is which kind of sentence? This is an assertive sentence. So, a full stop will come at the end. Next sentence, I want to go to Kashmir. This is again an assertive sentence. So, it will also end with a full stop. Next, when are you going to Kashmir? As this statement is a question, it is asking a question. So, it will end with a question mark. Question number 4. Answer the following questions. First question, what does Mori do before she goes to school? In the chapter, we learned that Mori goes to the lake every day with her parents. She carries a big basket on her head to collect fish that her father catches. Her father carries a fishing net and her mother carries clothes which she washes on a stone near the lake. And after helping her parents, after collecting the fish that her father catches, she goes to school. The answer is, she goes to the lake with her parents carrying a big basket for the fish her father catches. Next question. What had the person been doing before she fell asleep? Then one day when her father caught a lot of fish, when Mori's father caught a lot of fish, Mori remarked that if we catch so many fish, one day there won't be any left. Her mother laughed at her idea and sent her off to school. That day also, her mother carried some clothes to wash them on a stone near the lake, and after washing the clothes, she lay down under the palm trees and took a short nap. So before she fell asleep, what she was doing? She was washing clothes on a stone near the lake. The answer is, before sleeping, she was washing clothes on a stone near the lake. Next question. Why is the play titled The Whispering Palms? Then we learnt that when her mother lay down under the trees and took a short nap, she had a strange dream. And what she saw in her dream, she dreamt that the winds in the palm leaves whispered into her ears that the waters and the land have always taken care of your family, but now you have to take care of them in return. So, in the play, the winds in the palm leaves whispered into Mori's mother's ears. That is why the play is titled as The Whispering Palms. The answer is, in Mori's mother's dream, the wind in the palm leaves whispered into her ears. This is why the play is titled The Whispering Palms. Now, based on the revision of chapter and its exercises, here is a worksheet for you to evaluate yourself. You have to do this worksheet in your English Mulberry copy. Question 1. Write the meaning of these words. First word, grove. Second, whispered. Third, weaving. You have to write the meaning of these three words. Question number 2. Unscramble these words to get the names of other water bodies. Unscramble the letters of the given words to get the names of correct water bodies. First one is COAEN and second one is VRIRE. Question number 3. Write these jumbled sentences in the right order. Begin with a capital letter and end with a full stop. Now few sentences are given. They are not written in correct order. You have to arrange them in proper order. And remember that the sentence should begin with a capital letter and it should end with a full stop. The first one is, we'll go today to school, Mori. Second, so yesterday they made. And third, her father, now she is helping. Question number 4. Put the correct end mark for each sentence. Few sentences are given. You have to put a correct mark at the end of each sentence. First one, do you like reading? Which stories do you like? Second, I like bananas. I like bananas too. Question number 5. Answer the following questions. First, where is the person sleeping? What time was it? Second, how do we know that Mori is kind to animals? Third, what can you do to take care of the waters and the land in return? So after having the revision of the exercises and giving a worksheet also to be done, it's time for some homework now. Your homework is to read and revise the chapter again. And second, complete the worksheet in your Mulberry notebook. You have to read the chapter again, revise it thoroughly, and then complete the given worksheet in your English Mulberry copy. So students, with this our today's class is over. I hope you all might have enjoyed the class and understood it very well. We will meet again soon in our next English class where we will be doing revision of another chapter of your Mulberry book. Till then, complete all your homework and stay safe. Thank you.